Dear seeker, pause for a moment. Take a slow, gentle breath in and let it out. In this restless world, where the mind is constantly pulled between the past and the future, we rarely experience the stillness of the present moment. We chase success, relationships, recognition, believing that somewhere ahead lies lasting happiness. Yet, even after achieving so much, there often remains a quiet sense of dissatisfaction, a feeling that something is still missing. Over 2,500 years ago, a prince named Siddhartha Gautama walked away from a life of luxury to seek answers to this very unease. What he discovered was not just a philosophy, but a profound understanding of life itself, an understanding that earned him the name we now know, the Buddha, the Awakened One. His teachings, preserved in sacred texts like the Dhammapada and the Nikayas, are not bound by time, culture, or belief. They do not ask you to blindly follow. They invite you to observe, to question, and to realize truth through your own experience. Today, I invite you on a quiet journey inward. Together, we will explore 21 timeless life lessons inspired by the wisdom of Gautama Buddha, lessons that illuminate the nature of suffering, the power of the mind, the beauty of compassion, and the path toward true freedom. As you listen, do not rush to agree or disagree. Simply reflect. Let these words settle gently within you. For this is not just a video. It is a step toward understanding yourself. Understanding the nature of life. Dear seeker, before we attempt to change our lives, we must first understand them as they truly are, not as we wish them to be. The Buddha began his teachings with a simple yet profound realization: life, as we experience it, contains suffering. This is known as dukkha. It is not merely pain or hardship, but a deeper sense of dissatisfaction, the feeling that nothing ever fully fulfills us for long. Even moments of joy carry within them the quiet fear of loss. Why does this happen? The Buddha gently guides us to observe that suffering arises from desire, from craving things to be different than they are. We cling to pleasure, resist pain, and seek permanence in a world that is constantly changing. From the Dhammapada, we are reminded, from craving springs grief, from craving springs fear. This leads us to a powerful truth: everything in life is impermanent, a principle known as anicca. Your emotions, your circumstances, your successes, even your struggles, they all arise and pass away. When we resist this natural flow, we suffer. But when we accept it, we begin to find peace. And perhaps the most subtle insight of all, there is no fixed, unchanging self. What we call I is simply a collection of thoughts, memories, sensations, and perceptions, all in constant motion. This is the teaching of anatta. When we loosen our grip on this identity, we also loosen our suffering. So reflect gently, dear seeker. If everything changes, if nothing can be held onto forever, then perhaps peace does not come from holding, but from learning to let go. Mastering the mind. If there is one truth the Buddha emphasized again and again, it is this: the mind is the source of both suffering and liberation. Everything you experience, every joy, every fear, every moment of peace or restlessness, arises within the mind. As it is said in the Dhammapada, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. So gently ask yourself, if the mind creates your experience, should it not be understood and cared for with great attention? Yet, the untrained mind is often like a restless monkey, jumping from thought to thought, pulled by distractions, trapped in memories, or anxious about the future. Without awareness, we become slaves to these patterns. The Buddha offers a simple, yet powerful practice: observe the mind without judgment. This is the essence of mindfulness. You are not asked to suppress your thoughts, nor to fight them, but to watch them, as you would watch clouds passing in the sky. In this quiet observation, something remarkable begins to happen. You start to see that thoughts are not permanent, not personal, and not always true. And with this awareness comes freedom. You also begin to notice how negative emotions, like anger, resentment, and fear, arise and fade. Holding on to them only deepens suffering. The Buddha wisely said that clinging to anger is like holding a burning coal. You are the one who gets hurt. So instead, practice letting go. Bring your awareness to the present moment, your breath, your body, your surroundings. In this moment, there is nothing lacking. Mastering the mind does not happen overnight, dear seeker. But with patience and gentle awareness, the mind that once caused suffering can become the very path to peace, the path of right living. Understanding the mind is essential, but wisdom must also be reflected in how you live your daily life. The Buddha did not teach enlightenment as an abstract idea. He offered a practical path known as the Noble Eightfold Path, a guide to living with clarity, balance, and integrity. At the heart of this path lies a simple principle: avoid extremes. The Buddha himself experienced both luxury and severe asceticism, only to realize that neither leads to true peace. Thus, he taught the middle path, a life of balance, where neither indulgence nor deprivation dominates your being. As you walk this path, your words become important. Right speech asks you to speak truthfully, kindly, and meaningfully. Before you speak, pause and reflect. Will these words bring understanding, or will they create harm? Words, once spoken, cannot be taken back. Equally important are your actions. Right action invites you to live with compassion and responsibility. Every choice you make, no matter how small, shapes not only your life but also the lives of others. To act with kindness is not a grand gesture, it is a quiet, consistent practice. And then there is your livelihood, how you sustain your life. The Buddha encouraged right livelihood, meaning work that does not cause harm, directly or indirectly. When your actions align with your values, there arises a sense of inner harmony that no external success can replace. So reflect, dear seeker. Is your life in alignment with your inner truth? The path is not about perfection. It is about awareness, adjustment, and gentle progress. Walk steadily, with sincerity. For a life lived with balance and integrity is already a step toward peace, relationships, and compassion. Dear seeker, no journey is truly walked alone. Even as you turn inward, your life continues to unfold in connection with others, with family, friends, strangers, and even those you may find difficult to understand. The Buddha taught that how you relate to others is a direct reflection of your inner state. A mind filled with anger sees enemies everywhere. A mind rooted in compassion sees suffering and responds with care. One of the most beautiful teachings is that of metta, loving kindness. It is the practice of silently wishing well-being for all beings, without exception. Not only for those you love, but also for those who challenge you. This does not mean approving harmful actions, but rather freeing your heart from hatred. For holding on to resentment, dear seeker, only binds you to pain. Forgiveness is not about the other person, it is about your own liberation. When you release anger, you are not losing power, you are reclaiming peace. The Buddha also gently advised us to choose our company wisely. The people around you influence your thoughts, your habits, and your direction in life. Seek those who encourage growth, who speak truth, and who walk with sincerity. And in your interactions, practice selfless giving. Offer help, kindness, and understanding without expecting recognition or reward. True generosity is quiet, it flows naturally, without calculation. So reflect for a moment. Are your relationships a source of peace or a source of disturbance? When you nurture compassion within, your relationships begin to transform. Not because others change, but because you see them with clearer understanding. Walk gently in this world, dear seeker. For every being you meet is fighting a battle you may not see. Inner strength and wisdom. As you continue along this path, you may begin to realize that the greatest challenges are not found in the outside world, but within yourself. The Buddha taught that true strength is not the ability to overcome others, but the ability to master oneself. You may win countless arguments, achieve success, or gain recognition, but if your mind remains restless, reactive, or attached, there is no lasting peace in those victories. To conquer yourself means to observe your impulses without being controlled by them, to respond rather than react, to remain steady even when life becomes uncertain. This requires patience, a quiet, enduring strength that is often overlooked. Growth does not happen instantly. Just as a seed takes time to become a tree, inner transformation unfolds gradually. There will be moments of clarity and moments of confusion. Both are part of the journey. So be gentle with yourself. At the same time, the Buddha encourages you to go beyond mere information and seek true wisdom. Knowledge can be collected. It fills the mind with facts, ideas, and concepts. But wisdom is different. It arises from direct experience, from reflection, and from deep understanding. You may read many teachings, listen to many words, but unless you apply them, they remain distant. Wisdom begins when you see clearly, when you recognize the patterns of your thoughts, the nature of your emotions, and the consequences of your actions. So reflect, dear seeker. Are you merely gathering knowledge, or are you transforming through it? For in the end, the path is not about knowing more. It is about becoming more aware, more balanced, and more free. And that is the essence of inner strength, enlightenment and freedom. As we arrive at the final stage of this journey, we are gently brought to the essence of the Buddha's teaching, freedom. Not a freedom that depends on circumstances, possessions, or achievements, but a freedom that arises from within. The Buddha taught that true liberation comes through detachment. This does not mean withdrawing from life or rejecting the world. Rather, it means engaging fully, while understanding that nothing can be held onto forever. You may love, but without clinging. You may experience joy, but without fear of losing it. You may face pain, but without being consumed by it. This is the subtle art of letting go. When attachment fades, something remarkable takes its place, a deep, unshakable peace. A peace that is not dependent on outcomes, but rooted in understanding. This is what the Buddha referred to as nirvana, not a distant place, but a state of being where the fires of craving, aversion, and ignorance are extinguished. But the path to this freedom is not meant to be copied blindly. The Buddha's final guidance was simple, yet profound. Be a lamp unto yourself. No teacher, no scripture, no external authority can walk this path for you. They can only point the way. It is you who must observe your mind. You who must practice awareness. You who must take each step with sincerity. So reflect, dear seeker. Are you waiting for answers from the world? Or are you willing to discover them within? The journey is deeply personal, yet universally shared. Walk it with courage. Walk it with patience. And slowly, as the layers of illusion fall away, you will not become something new. You will simply return to what you have always been. Free. Dear seeker, as we come to the end of this journey, take a quiet moment. Not to rush ahead, not to seek the next answer, but simply to pause and reflect. The teachings you have just heard are not meant to remain as words in the mind. They are invitations, gentle reminders pointing you back to your own awareness, your own experience, your own truth. The Buddha did not ask anyone to believe blindly. Instead, he encouraged each person to observe, to question, and to realize. And in that spirit, these lessons are not something to perfect overnight. They are seeds, planted slowly, nurtured with patience, and realized through consistent practice. You may not notice change immediately. But perhaps, in a moment of anger, you pause. In a moment of stress, you breathe. In a moment of confusion, you observe instead of react. And in these small shifts, transformation quietly begins. Remember, dear seeker, peace is not found somewhere far away. It is not hidden in achievements or possessions. It is cultivated, moment by moment, within you. So as you return to your daily life, carry this awareness gently. Walk a little slower. Listen a little deeper. Respond with a little more kindness, both toward others and toward yourself. And if this journey has resonated with you, you may continue walking this path, not alone, but together, by staying connected with this space. Until we meet again. May your mind be clear. May your heart be light. And may you walk your path with wisdom and peace.